And welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi Grace, author of 10 young adult novels so far, 8 of which I'm gonna keep saying I'm writing this year, I guess. Welcome to vlog 35 of that adventure. We kind of accidentally took a week off. I say accidentally because I didn't plan a break, I just wasn't productive for a week. So, yep, it's fine. We're totally fine. We have 2 weeks until publication for Dusty's book. So, we are going to finish whatever editing I feel the need to do. I have my critique partner and my sister reading over it. My editor will give me all the, like, you suck at grammar notes. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna finish Dusty and get it ready to go. That's kind of my only plan for the next 2 weeks. If I feel inspired to finish writing the end of Alan's book, that would be great, because I would like to be done with it this month, but, it might just be an October thing, which is gonna get wild because I'll have to finish writing the end and then edit the entire thing in October so I can publish it in November. So we don't love that, but this is where we're at. Just so you know what I'm talking about later in this video, my writing group has a hedgehog theme, and a gathering of hedgies is called a prickle. So when we gather together to write, we call it a prickle. Hi, so Wednesday's update for the vlog. We had our monthly goal review today in the Hedgie House. That's my writing group. And honestly, I was kind of feeling like I got nothing done this month. I took an entire week off accidentally because I just wasn't motivated and did nothing. So I was kind of feeling like the month was a bit of a failure in that regard. It wasn't as bad as August in the sense of like my internal headspace of like whatever, like I don't know, mental health wise I guess. I didn't hate the month and I didn't feel as down. August was rough. I felt like the entire world sucked in August, which I didn't feel in September, so I didn't think like it was horrible. But also I didn't feel like I was productive. I didn't feel like I got things done. So like doing the goal review at the beginning, I was like, this is not gonna be good. I did nothing. And then we did the goal review, and I still kind of feel like I did nothing and that I have way too much on my plate for October, but we have to do a positive takeaway at the end of, you know, the 7 questions that we do. Number 7's a positive takeaway. And I struggled to find one, and then I remembered a day. And honestly, the days all blurred together, so I don't remember if this was last week or this week or when this happened. But at some point recently, I had a day where I felt like it was a really bad day. Like I wasn't present with the children. I was just sort of surviving, you know, existing in the space with them, but not actually paying them any attention whatsoever. Yeah, so I just kind of felt like a sucky human being that day. And then my sister got home, and we were chatting about the day and what the kids had been doing and whatever. And then she picked up a craft that I had done with her kids that day and was just like, you're such a good aunt or whatever. And it just kind of struck me because it happened on a day where I felt like I wasn't being a good aunt, and then I sort of processed that and I was like, I sat down and did these beads with these kids. I don't know if you've ever done the like the melty wax beads where like you like make a little design and then you iron it and they're all stuck together. That was a weird explanation. I will show you the crafts that we made. But anyway, we did this thing, like it was an extensive like hour-and-a-half long experience, and they had a blast, and like it was a great thing, you know, they got to be creative and whatever. Like it was actually, it was pretty awesome. So yeah, it was just interesting that I was able to do that on a day where I personally felt like I was failing the kids. So that was interesting, but I made that my positive takeaway because I was like, I don't necessarily feel like this month is spectacular, but that's not to say that I didn't do great things. I published a book. Like, come on. Speaking of goals though, I would like to, I doubt this will happen, but I would like to be done with dusting and have it uploaded, ready to go, whatever, this weekend. I wanted it by, like, October 1st, which is Saturday, so it might be October 2nd, I don't know, but, yeah, I want to be done this weekend so that I don't have stress the week leading up to release, like with Much's book, which was just a disaster. I want it all to be ready by Monday morning, because then I can spend the week leading up to publication not freaking out about it, which would be lovely. And then in September, I have to, not September, that's the month we just had, in October, I have to finish writing Alan's book and then edit Alan's book. This one is gonna be tight. This is gonna be interesting. This is where it all falls apart. Yeah, this is gonna be real interesting. Alan's book may need to be revisited next year after I've had a break, to do like another edit pass on it, because I feel like I'm just gonna rush it. But I've come to a place where I'm kind of okay with this though, because my goal was to update the old books into something that I'm not ashamed of anymore, right? We were fixing the story, we weren't creating a brand new book the way that I would write it now. Because I haven't been writing these books the way I would write them now. I've been trying to use the skills that I have now to polish the books that are already there. And it's not, like, there are plot points and, like, specific things that happen in the story that I would not do nowadays. Like, specific example, Lucy does this thing where she doesn't want to lie. She's a stickler for the truth. However, she'll skirt around it sometimes. So, there's a very specific plot point that is actually, like, integral to the story, and it makes other major things happen. Wherein Lucy will, tell the sheriff that she won't tell Robin Hood something, or whatever. The sheriff suspects that she's working with Robin Hood, it's like, no, I won't tell Robin Hood these plans, and then she'll go tell, like, Will Scarlet or someone. Yeah. It's not a one-time deal. Like, it just keeps happening, and I find it, personally, to be a little bit dumb. Not gonna lie. In the rewrites, I came very close to just scrapping that entire thing because I thought it was stupid. But I wrestled with it for a bit, and then I was like, you know what? We're not revamping the stories. We're polishing what little Mandi wrote. So whatever. Anyway, the point is that the books themselves aren't entirely what I would write nowadays. So I'm okay if I rush through it just a little bit, because the goal was to be better than it currently is. And if I can say, yes, this story is in fact better than the original version, I'm happy. And I do actually really love The Legend of the Thief, even with that stupid plot point. So yeah, it's fine. So the point that I'm getting at is Alan is going to be fine. I'm not stressed about it. I'm stressed in the sense of, like, time. Do I have the time to do this? But I'm not stressed in the sense of, like, can I actually make it, like, publishable? Because I'm like, yes, I can. It already is. Like, I published it, yeah, published it years ago in questionable form. So what I have right now is better than that, so mission accomplished. Also, October is typically Preptober, you know, because it's NaNoWriMo and it's my favorite time of year, and it's like my, like, personal holiday. It's like, who needs Thanksgiving? I have NaNoWriMo. I have a lot of emotions that I have to work through because I'm not doing NaNoWriMo this year, and I am horrified by that. It's not that I'm not doing it, because technically speaking, I'm still writing books. So will I be doing NaNoWriMo? Yes, but I will be a Nano Rebel and not approaching a brand new project, starting at scratch, writing my 50,000 words, you know? So like from the traditional NaNoWriMo standpoint and the nostalgia and emotions that I have for that, I don't feel good about not doing it this year. And then also from the perspective of like the fantasy series that I want to be writing, like that is another set of disappointment and sadness, and the two blending together is not a good feeling. So I will have to sit with that as we walk through November. What I will be doing in November is writing the story of Gisman. Yep. Okay, so on my list of things to do today was cleaning out my inbox, which has nothing to do with my writing experience whatsoever, except that I just came across an email, which I hadn't opened, and had forgotten was in there from like a month or two ago, a month-ish maybe, when I was publishing The Legend of the Thief, whenever that happened. August? So, one of my best friends from childhood, who's now my sister-in-law, had told me that she found the original Lucy's Legend from when I sent it to her. Yeah, I remember getting that message from her, like, but I didn't do anything about it. I didn't, you know, go looking through my email for it, but I just found it just now. And I was in there, and I had to come in here to tell you, because out there, the kids are actually having TV time, so there's extra weird noises. But I'm gonna go back there now and silently show you what 17-year-old me messaged my best friend. Okay, time for a new candle. I still have 2 left. Whoa, sorry, I wasn't even looking at the shelf. I still have 2 left in this experience. I think this is the one that was making me sneeze every time I smelled it. Yeah, we're gonna start with this one. I don't know why, but I feel the need to complete this set before I move on to the other chaos that is happening in here. Okay, I have lunch, I have a candle, I have liquid to drink, liquid being water. I did not make tea today, because I'm already a minute late to this prickle, and we don't have time for that nonsense. But I am going to eat my lunch, and then do some editing on Dusty, so we can get this done. The goal review this morning just really energized me. I can't talk about it, because I tend to rant, and I need to get on this prickle. But anyway, I'm feeling good about life, and I'm going to be productive. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what to do with the Much Is Come to Jesus chapter. I don't remember what I did in his book. I'll have to pull it up. Dusty gets very chatty. Very chatty. She goes on an entire lecture, and there's 3 pages-ish of like just a block of text. It's a problem. Let's see here. This is the chapter, this thingamawidget here. And you can see in the first couple of pages of the conversation, there's white space. There's some back and forth, and nobody's talking for too long. It doesn't get too crazy. On this page, it starts to get a little, you know, interesting. And then this is when Dusty starts ranting. And then she doesn't stop. This page right here is my favorite. It is, there's like, it's just one long, look at this. Look at this. It's just one long, obviously this is not conducive to fun reading. Certainly not an easy read. We don't want a block of text in a fiction book. Unless you're like Tolkien or something, which I'm not. So also, this isn't like a block of like beautiful description or prose that people will just drool over. We're not Patrick Rothfuss over here. It's not like this is worth the block of text, right? This is like not only is it probably not like beautiful sentences, but on top of that, it is specifically about her faith, which makes it sound very preachy, okay? Just a block of text of Dusty being like, this is the right way to interact with Jesus. Which, you know, honestly, I agree with Dusty. My faith is the same, obviously, but, this is a problem. So I was trying to decide if the Much Has Come to Jesus chapter, is important for Dusty's book. It's very important for Much's book. That scene, like, it had to be in there for Much's book. Yeah, because his entire story arc is about how he believes he has no value, and then, you know, God being like, hey, you have inherent value because I created you and I love you, is like entirely changes his entire viewpoint, and this just blows his mind. So yeah, it was definitely important for Much's book. Whether or not it needs to be in Dusty's story is questionable, so I was thinking about it. I could make a case for it needing to stay in, like, Dusty has been hiding everything since her parents died. From other people, from herself. She's cut herself off from who she used to be. Her name was not Dusty. None of the people that she's with now know her quote-unquote real name. And she is very reticent to share any facts about herself. Like, she doesn't... She put up a wall and cut herself off from her past, because the grief is just too painful to deal with. So she's just like, we're just pretending that didn't happen. So on that level, because she hides everything that is Dusty, and she's on this journey of, like, opening back up and learning to, like, love other people, but also, like, let them see who she truly is, even though it's kind of scary. This scene might be very important on that level because it's the first time since her family was murdered that she is sharing her faith. Like, really sharing it. She talks about it sometimes. Like, she'll make snide comments. When people are doing things, I don't know, like, Crusaders are murdering people, and she's just like, y'all suck. Anyway, she has made snide comments up to this point. This is chapter 13. And in previous chapters, she has made snide comments about, well, essentially her faith being better than their faith, because she's not gonna, you know, murder people. I don't know. She's kind of... She has a bit of an ego problem, but we don't have to talk about that. We'll deal with that later. Anyway, she is a bit... she's a bit self-righteous and resentful. So she has, like, expressed that she is a Christian, but she hasn't actually talked about what that means for her specifically. So this scene of her opening up and sharing her faith and, like, how integral it is to who she is as a person is very important, I feel, on this arc of her being like, we're pretending that person doesn't exist, and then being like, no, I mean, I still exist, I'm still here, this is still who I am, it's just painful. Yeah, anyway, on that level, I feel like it is an important scene to have, in which case, if I'm keeping it, I have to do some editing because I can't have this block of text. So the first thing we're going to do is pull up Much's book and see what I did, or if I did anything. I was a little rushed with Much's book in terms of editing, so it's entirely possible I just left it as is. We'll hold that thought, pulling it up. Do we want to guess that this is Dusty? Because I'm willing to bet that's Dusty. Yep, yep, this is Dusty. I did break it up with Much, but I broke it up with Much watching her physical movements, and I can't have her watch her own physical movements, so she might watch Much's physical movements, or I'll get back to you after I've done some work on that. Don't know why it's doing this. It looks like that. You're not even in focus. Hello? Yeah, it looks like there's words on this page that are in bold, but then when I go to that page, they're not in bold. It's on this page too. Look at that. It looks like it's bold. I'll double check that momentarily. Anyway, we've broken it up a bit. It added more pages to the chapter as a whole, but I think that's okay. I think this is where it started getting weird. You can see some page breaking up here. I added instead of just like Dusty's movements and things, or Much's movements, or anyone's movements, I actually started diving into Much's, her memories and her childhood. She would notice, or she would start saying something about her faith, and then she would remember, like, learning it from Denia, or she'd like close her eyes and try to remember the quotes from the Quran or whatever, and then I had like sort of like flashbacky memory sentences about her Muslim instructors and like various mentors in her life, like throughout the conversation, as she was trying to remember both what her Christian and her Muslim mentors had taught her as she was growing up, which I think really helped, because there's like Dusty chatting, and then there's a brief break of like different memories. Let me find one so I can explain what I'm talking about. I don't know what's up with the bold thing. This is the section that looked bold, and it's definitely not, so I have no idea what that was about. Yeah, so she's chatting up here about Allah, and then I have this bit, flashes of memory, yada yada, this portion, which I kind of like. The crinkling of the unrolling scrolls and like the keen gaze, whatever, I don't know, it's kind of random, but I kind of like it. Anyway, I have a couple areas like that where I just added some other senses beyond Dusty talking. So there's like the sounds with the crinkling of the paper, and then like the smell of fresh leather, and like, you know, other things to spice it up a little bit in the midst of her very long rant about Jesus. So there you go, there's that. I meant to read my book, this book. I meant to read this before publishing Dusty for more research for this specific conversation in the story. My sister sent me some things to read. I think like in one of her classes came across this stuff, like a journal from a woman written in the time period of my book. Camera died. Anyway, yeah, I don't 100% know what it is that my sister sent me, but we were talking about it face to face the other night, and it sounded like great research. So I might actually spend this weekend focusing on catching up on all the research stuff that I meant to do before publishing Dusty. Yeah. I'm gonna continue reading and editing right now, but yeah, I think my plan this weekend will be to get through all of the researchy stuff that I want to do, or as much as I can, and then implement that into this conversation and other areas in the book that it might apply, and go from there. Okay, it's Thursday, and I edited a couple chapters already. I actually ended up deleting some things, a couple small scenes on the way home from the Crusades that just aren't important. Like, nothing really happened in the scene. It wasn't emotionally impactful for Dusty, and like nothing was happening. It was just pointless conversation. So yeah, I definitely deleted a few things, which was kind of nice. Moving forward, later today, I'm going to try, this is crazy, this is a crazy idea, I'm going to try and get on a sprint prickle. So basically, it's like a normal prickle, except we're sprinting, which means we're riding for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever, and in that time, we have to write like as much as we possibly can. So you're just like spewing words as quickly as possible. I want to get on the sprint prickle because I have to finish the end of Alan's book, because October is when I'm supposed to be editing it, and I haven't written the ending. So it would be nice to actually write the ending so that I have something to edit. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to try and get on a sprint prickle later this afternoon and see how much I can accomplish. I still have at least like 20 to 30,000 words, I think, till the end of the book, so we're not going to finish that today, but we'll see what we can write. I don't typically like sprints. If it's like 30 minutes long, you know, that's great, but the last time I did sprints with my writing group, I was not a fan, because every time I got into the flow of the story, that's when the timer would go off and they would just pull me right out of flow, which I hated, honestly. I just completely hated it. So I've been avoiding the sprint prickles, but because I am trying to just spew the end of Alan's book, I think the sprint prickle will possibly be a good idea for that. Okay, I was late to the sprint prickle because it starts like right when I get back from preschool and I have to deal with the children's still, so I was 30 minutes late. But in the 30 minutes that I was on the Sprint Prickle, I wrote 500 words in Alan's book, so whoop-de-doo. I don't know what that means for how much we still have to get through, but it's actually time for the normal Prickle now, so I'm gonna get on that and do some more editing of Dusty. Saturday's update. I just had a shower and then I made myself a very long list of things that I will not be able to get done today, but we're gonna see how close we can get. Yeah, that's where we're at. I put a lot on my plate for this weekend. The main things being finishing editing Dusty. I don't see that happening, but that's the main thing. And then along those same lines, I want to read what my sister sent me, research-wise, and then try and read what is it? No God But One? That's what it is. For research purposes. I'm trying to cram a lot into this weekend. It's gonna get a little crazy. Yeah. And then I have other videos to do too, because it's October 1st and I haven't done my October bullet journal yet, and things. There's a lot of things. I've managed to get through the YouTube portion of my long list today, filming and editing and uploading of videos, and now I have to do all the reading and writing part. Well, that is the end of vlog 35. Was this 35? I think this was 35. I get so confused, you guys. I just don't even know, because weeks go by as I'm filming them. I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know where I'm at anymore. It was so long ago that I started this video. Anyway, whatever. So, that's the end. I've gone through 3 of the medieval travel logs, I don't know what to call them, that my sister sent me. Very interesting stuff. Nothing specifically that I was like, oh, I need to change something in my book, but just interesting facts, I guess. And then I've read, I don't even know how many pages, hold please. 50, exactly. I've read 50 pages in No God But One. Interesting stuff, but again, not yet anything that I was like, oh, I need to go change specifically the scene between Much and Dusty when they're talking about her journey of discovering her faith and digging into the Muslim faith and the Christian faith and all the things. That conversation specifically is the one I'm most concerned isn't accurate or respectful to both faiths. So, yeah, I'm fascinated to finish reading this and then compare it to that chapter and then see if there's anything I need to change. I don't think there will be, because I did do research prior to writing that chapter already. So this is just an extra layer of research, I guess, from someone who went through basically the same journey that Dusty did, except a real person who did it. Basically, I've done some of the reading I wanted to do over the course of the weekend. I haven't finished yet. So we'll finish in the next vlog. Whoop-de-doo. The next vlog should also be the publication vlog, so get excited for that. Books 1 and 2, The Legend of the Thief and The Journey of the Peacekeeper in my Robin Hood series are available. Links in the description. You can go to the paperback and ebook distributors. Look at me. I do a call to action on every video now, you guys. It's crazy. Who is this person? Then I made it weird. Book 3 is coming on October 9th. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. This one's definitely my favorite book. It's weird because it's the first portion where Dusty's pretending to be a guy and fighting and whatever is very fascinating, and there's Mulan vibes and whatever, I don't know, but it's very interesting. And then she meets Robin Hood and Much. And then there's the prison sequence, and there's things in there that need to be there for her emotional journey, but also it's not as interesting. And then you get to Sherwood and you meet Will Scarlet, and then it turns into just a straight up romance book. The last 250 pages are just a romance. with the backdrop of like the Sherwood shenanigans happening, so it's like interesting and intense, but like it's basically just a romance. And I'm not mad about it. I'm gonna market it that way. Saturday, blah. What was I saying? Saturday.